very nice to be here with you today.
It's good to have you here.
Great, great. We're here in one of the planet's data centers. And tell me, Jeff, what is it about your facilities that you believe draws customers to the planet?
I think they come to us for our reliability of our data centers. We invest a lot of money in the redundancies built into our data centers. And in this day and age, customers come to expect that.
So we all know that running data centers is a fairly expensive business, but you've recently made some green changes around here that have not only brought you recognition amongst your peers, but will be reducing the planet close to $1 million in expenses this year?
Yeah, we should save about $1 million from our electricity expenses here.
That's pretty big.
You know, we've done a lot of things in, it's on the cooling efficiency of our data centers. We've done a lot of work with blanking plates, done a lot of temperature measurement in the data center to try to make it more even across the data center. We've actually raised the temperatures in our data center a little bit towards the top of the ASHRAE standard. You know, it's mainly just making sure the cold air is getting to the fronts of the servers and nowhere else in the room.
Right, right. So basically you focus on improving the coefficient of efficiency from what I've read. Can you explain what that is exactly?
It's a measurement where you take the total power going into the data center, and it's a ratio of how much power is going to your IT load and how much of it's going to cool that IT load. And so obviously you want to use less power to cool the data center. And so we've made some great strides. In some of our data centers we were about a 2.0 rating, and we've managed to drop that to close to 1.6, which is considered ideal.
To give some context, how much time does it take for that kind of change to take into effect?
In this particular data center that we're in today is where we kind of did everything to begin with before we moved it to our other data centers, and it was about a 6-month program, just doing all the different things and kind of measuring what effect each thing had to that efficiency.
Great, great. Now, where did you actually get the idea to use this particular method to become more efficient? Because, you know, a lot of companies these days will, you know, buy carbon offsets or whatnot. Why this?
Well, this started out as a project to lower that electricity expense, and you know, so a lot of the ideas I got from industry conferences I went to, from we're members of the Uptime Network, and we get a lot of good information from their conferences. You know, and have the ability to speak with the Uptime Institute. They're experts on cooling, and have been to a couple of just very specific cooling efficiency seminars that they've put on where I've learned most of it. So
can you tell me a bit more about the work that you do with the Uptime Institute?
Yeah, well, so we're members of the Uptime Network, which is facilitated by the Uptime Institute. And it's basically a group, there's 5 different groups of companies, and it's a lot of information exchange. We do a lot of benchmarking studies between all the different companies. We actually hosted the spring conference here last year. Took everyone on a tour of our facility where they get to tell us all the good things that they saw and all the opportunities that they saw.
And how did you do?
We actually did very well. We had a lot of good stuff that they saw. We had a few opportunities that we've since taken care of. It's really one of the only places you can go to that's all about the facility side of the data center. Where a lot of the conferences today, they have some of that, but there's a lot of IT stuff as well, and I'm obviously concentrated on the facility side.
Of course.
Yeah.
Have you implemented this new green efficiency technique on all your data centers?
Yeah, we've done it at all 6 of our data centers. At a couple of them, we're still doing some final fine-tuning of stuff, but for the most part, yeah, we've seen very similar changes in the coefficient of efficiency in all of them.
What else can we expect to see in the future in terms of, I guess, how you can make your facilities more green? Are there more plans to
Yeah, we're getting ready to build another facility in Dallas here very shortly, and probably another one somewhere else in the United States. And so we'll take what we've learned, and we're going to do some stuff with complete hot aisle, cold aisle separation in those. And if in another city that we may be building a data center, and we may be looking at some airside economization to make it even better.
Well, thanks so much for taking the time to speak to me today.
My pleasure.